And just, my advice, to the young generation,
Hmm.
if you do invest in anything, you have to be able to reach your investment in a certain amount of time. When I say reach your investment, that's why when I invest, I try to invest in my country. I try not to invest in another country because the laws may change.
Hmm.
So I know the laws where I live at and where I'm born at.
So is that kind of a thing with like some of the fighters that are working with Turki Alalshikh now as they go over to Riyadh and a lot of that is investing in the economy there. They're getting
Oh
paid
no,
for.
I never met him. He
Mhm,
seemed like a pretty cool guy.
mhm.
I can't really speak on his situation or speak on another fighter's situation. I'm just telling you my outlook on how, just my outlook on life, on my investments,
Mm.
and giving the young generation some advice.
Yes, for sure, and obviously your your story is 100% a success story. If people know about like areas in Grand Rapids, and to see where you were, where you came from and where you are now is
Well,
100%.
well, well, it wasn't just Grand Rapids. I had a chance. My mother, her family is from Jersey, as
Hmm.
well as New York and Florida. So when I was a kid, I would go back and forth. A lot of
Hmm.
times, a lot of time in Jersey, a lot of time in New York. Then I go back to Grand Rapids. So born and raised in Grand Rapids, but I spent a lot of time in Jersey as well as New York when I was young. Also,
Yeah, got you. So you talking about career, and I think a lot of that
yes.
does really tie into what you're doing now, and I'm sure there's definitely tie-ins to business because there's probably professional lessons that you learned that tie into that. So you say like, so one of the things I was going to ask you is like you've had some great wins, obviously, in the ring.
Hmm.
What win do you think that you had that you look back on and it feels like the most special of any victory that you had? Maybe it was because of where you were personally as a man at the time, or the opponent, or the situation.
Well, when I think back on my career, it's a few different ones. If it's okay for me to talk about them.
Hundred
So
percent.
okay, so when I had a chance to face Diego Corrales at that particular time, he was undefeated. He was a monster. He was a killer in the sport of boxing.
My
We had a
favorite.
chance,
That's my favorite Floyd fight.
yeah, we had a chance to match up. And what hurt me, why that fight meant so much to me, because at that particular time I had to deal with HBO.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to sign a 6-fight deal with HBO,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, just as a human, I want to voice my opinion about the deal, and they wasn't happy that I voiced my opinion about the deal. So they said, we're gonna take the deal off the table. Now, whoever win the fight between you and Diego Corrales will get the deal with HBO. Um, so we ended up fighting. He's a hell of a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He was like I said before, he was a monster at
Yeah.
130, 6 feet, 130, hard puncher, bunch of knockouts, and we both had a bunch of knockouts at that particular time, and
Mm-hmm.
we matched up. And that night I was a better man,
Yeah.
and so that was a great night of boxing for the world, and that was a good. That was a. I feel like that was one of my biggest moments, but also then you look back with I think Arturo Gotti, where
Mm-hmm.
they me go to his turf,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and they made me the B side, made him the A side.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they took millions of dollars from me on that fight. Still, nothing could stop me. So that was a big moment for me to go there and and be victorious on his turf and beat him for his title, in front of his fans. And may he rest in peace. And also, may Diego Corrales rest in peace, because both of those fighters are no longer here. But
Right.
we will always love both of those fighters. And then we got another fight, the Oscar De La Hoya, breaking the pay-per-view. You know, doing numbers with pay-per-view, breaking the record.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got who else we got? We got Ricky Hatton,
Mm-hmm.
Ricky the Hitman Hatton.
Mm-hmm.
He came over. He was another undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
you know, guy that came over to America
Mm-hmm.
to display his talent, to display his skills against my skills. And I was I was the better man. He was another tough competitor. Me and Canelo was able to, lock up and do record breaking numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think that Conor McGregor was good just so we could show just with just that's when we broke the mold where we said, you know what, MMA and boxing really can come together, and that opened up the floodgate for the YouTubers and everybody to get involved in the sport of boxing. So, everything played a major role. I don't know how many I just named right there. Could have been six, could have been
Yeah.
six, 5 or 6. But like I said before, I had a tremendous career.
Yeah, man. And as a matter of fact, I actually understand why you named every one of those, and it's like for different reasons. The Corrales
And
fight
I,
was.
and I left and I left the main one out, which was the Manny Pacquiao. And
Yeah,
then a lot
yeah.
of
I mean, yeah. I get it.
and a lot of
It's
people say,
you know.
and even like with the Manny Pacquiao, everybody was saying, like a lot of times people always have their opinion. They're going to always have an opinion about me.
Mhm.
But when I look back on my career, as long as I did things the way I wanted to do things,
Yeah.
and as long as I'm happy at the end of the day. So a lot of times when we make certain decisions in life, we have to be happy. So I'm happy with the decisions that I made in my
Mhm.
career.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you, man, like one of the things I think you said there about with the fight with McGregor was you did open up the door for all of these crossover fights that a lot of people are having now that
Yes.
almost
And they
kind
had
of
something, remember they had something to say at that
yeah.
particular time. They had something to say, but now
Oh yeah, I
everybody,
remember.
yes.
I remember. And then even after that, you fought Logan Paul before it was, in the exhibition before it really hadn't really kicked off yet either. And
Yes.
then that was just another step in it. And the Ricky Hatton fight, the check left hook in the corner is, I show people that if they haven't seen that all the time, like, have you seen that check left hook in the corner? It's nasty. So I understand for each reason why you named those fights for sure. Now you fought, despite what a lot of people would say. I'm not one of the people that says this. I feel like you fought everybody there was to fight in your time period. Is there somebody that you did not fight that you kind of wish you had fought this person, and why?
Um, my career went like it went. So if God wanted me to fight somebody, I would have fought whoever God wanted me to fight.
Mm-hmm.
God chose the fighters that He wanted me to fight. Even like when you look back on my career, you have to say, I beat more Hall of Famers than anyone else in the sport of boxing. Not knocking no one else. I'm just telling you about the things that I've done in my career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I wondered though, because there's fighters that come and go, and I remember when everybody was pushing
You know,
Antonio Margarito. I remember that everybody was
he was
pushing
cheating.
Margarito,
Yeah,
and
the guy that was cheating.
and then we found out he wrapping his
Beating up
glove.
fighters, beating fighters up with a cast in his glove.
Yeah,
Of course,
so it's
yes.
like this is how that ends up going. So
And like I
but
said before, God didn't want that to happen to me, so it didn't happen.
yeah, yeah.